Hello everyone, this is going to be a short video today. So what we're looking at is the REW EQ window, and I have loaded two curves, and just use your imagination a little bit and follow me. Okay, so right now we can only see one curve, but in reality there's two. So the first one is my target curve, which is Jazzy V2, and then I have loaded Jazzy V2 as if it was a scan, right? So if I lower the target level, we're gonna see the blue line. So let's imagine that the blue line is my actual scan and the yellow line is my target curve. So there's two ways that you can modify your target curve to change your tune, right? So you're not stuck with the Jazzy V2 as it is. The first way is with the crossover settings here. You know, on the top right, you can set the slopes and the frequencies for the crossovers, and you can do this. So I'm showing the whole curve, but you can do this at the speaker level, right? If you scan one speaker at a time, you can do that one speaker at a time. But it's easier to visualize the curve if you see it as a whole. Okay, so for example, I know my subwoofer starts dropping at around 20 hertz, right? So it's like goes down like this, but my tuning curve goes straight all the way up to I don't know, 2 hertz, something like that. And my subwoofer is just not gonna play that. So what do I do if I want to smooth it out as it drops? What I can do is I can add the high pass filter on the curve. And what that looks like is you go here on the top right of the screen on the target settings. And by the way, I always use a speaker driver because it's the one that I like. It's the most flexible one. It doesn't apply any filters to the curve to begin with. So I like to keep it at speaker driver, and then I apply my own filters. So let's set this to Liquid Rally 24, which is what I always use, and watch the curve. So it starts dropping. I know my curve starts dropping at around 20. So if I set it to 20, this is what my actual scan would be doing. So I can smooth it out as it falls, right? And you can do the same thing on the opposite end of the curve with the low pass, right? So here we add, say my curve starts dropping, my tweeter starts dropping like around 16, 17 for whatever reason. So let me set it to 24 dB. And here you can set this to 16. And it moves a little bit down. And now this target curve would follow the way that my actual tweeter drops, right? So those are the two things that we can do the crossover. And again, as mentioned earlier, I'm showing the entire curve, so it's easier to visualize, but you can do these settings at the speaker level, right? You're not gonna see it as pronounced as this one, but you're still gonna be modifying the curve. There's another way that you can modify even further your curve. And this is this one, the room curve. For the most part, I think, when I open my EQ window, this is always turned off, the add room curve. But if you turn it on, you can make some changes here, right? So you have a right for the low end, you have a rise start and a rise end and a rise slope, right? So you can tell it between 120 and 300, I want you to change as I increase or decrease the slope between those two frequencies, right? So if I start moving it, now I'm increasing the slope between those two frequencies here. So if you like a little bit more mid bass in your tune, you can change this and add maybe 2 dBs. Let's make it 2 dBs. So this is what I like to do. I add 2 dBs to my mid bass, and that's just the way I like it, right? And the same thing you can do with the high end, with the what's called a low pass. But this one, it doesn't work between two frequencies. This is more like a shelf filter. Say for example, if I want my curve is a little bit too bright, right? I want to decrease the slope starting at 1 kilohertz, right? So I set here, oh, it's already a 1 kilohertz. Okay, so it's a 1 kilohertz, and I can change the slope. I can increase the slope, make it brighter, or I can decrease. No, that's not decrease. That's the other one. Oh, I can decrease the slope and make my curve a little bit darker. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Use this tool to modify your tuning curve, and happy tuning, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.